Hello there, I'm Nita Rose, and in this video we are going to talk about Rave Master Volume 26, and we are starting off with Chapter 210 titled Partner's Schemes. Haru was also surprised to see the woman he has met before, and he wants to thank her for healing his injured arm. But Belnika mistook him for a member of the DC and tries to attack him. But then she noticed the Rave Stone on Haru's sword. She still stands her guard, but then Haru gave her a hand, making Belnika believe that he is not the enemy. Meanwhile, the girls are fighting off the army of men as Julia is willing to take them down by herself. She is allowing Ellie and Nagisa to find the rest of the group, as she doesn't want them to see her in her dragon form and wants to know the reason why her hometown is being targeted. Back with Haru and Plu, who suddenly starts searching for Belnika, who took off after learning Haru is the Rave Master. She doesn't understand why she and her people are fighting the person who will establish peace in the world. Julia finds out the reason why her hometown is being targeted, and that is to defeat Endless. They plan to lure Endless to an area they consider pointless and necessary to unleash a Therion calls an overdrive to destroy Endless. And after Julia gets the information about her hometown, this chick comes along. A fight between Julia and the Catwoman, as it turns out that her Shadow Stone is like a coat and easily wounded Julia. Then the fortress starts to move on its own and it heads towards the target area. Belnika is running to seek the truth while Yuma and his crew are chasing after the fortress, which makes their way into the other world, Miyaki. Haru managed to find Julia and she asked him to take her to a place with windows. She then told him Harper's plan and then had Haru look out the window to see a beautiful sight of her hometown. Julia felt helpless into protecting it, but Haru decided to take her place and protect her hometown for her. Next, Nagisa gets in contact with Yuma and told him about Harper's plan to destroy Endless along with the world Nagaki. Back in the past, with Hardner mentioned something about being reborn. And then suddenly Yuma decided to take a course of action, asking two men to follow along with him. Nagisa lost contact with Yuma, as it turns out that cat lady here is the one who cut the line, and it seems like Nagisa and Ellie has to deal with her. Meanwhile, Belnika told Hardner about the Rave Master's plan and they both have the same goal, but then she soon learns that they never wanted to establish peace and takes her prisoner. Ellie and Nagisa are dealing with this chick as they are getting hammered, and Ellie suggests that she should use her powers to destroy the staff, while Belnika refused to help Hardner with his plan. But then she is forced to do so as a dear friend of her is in danger, and Belnika decides to help Hardner in the sake for saving someone she cares about. Hardner continues to threaten Belnika, but then Yuma breaks into a duel with him along with the two guys that come to his defense. The two guys manage to stop the bullet in mid-air with both hands. We then get more of a backstory of what happened in the past, and it turns out that a woman named Sophia has died due to some incident, and this is what caused Hardner to change from good to bad. Yuma cuts off Hardner's mechanical arm, but he seems to have the real one after some spell was broken. The two men go in for the attack on Hardner, but then stopped by this woman. Then this guy seemed to be laughing and start to say some harsh things like killing someone in the past, and that just got under Yuma's skin. But then Yuma got shot by Hardner, and as it turns out, the guy was trying to get Hardner to kill him. That's why he said all those harsh things, but it failed as Hardner wanted to begin the ritual. Let and Musica are running through the halls trying to reach a place called the Archer of Birth, but then suddenly Let stops and smells Julia and heads towards her while telling Musica the location of Haru. Let finds Julia alive while Hardner is preparing for the ritual of rebirth, and Ellie and Nagisa are still dealing with the cat lady here. Ellie decided to use her magic and blasted the chick away, finally defeating her. Now Haru is running around defeating each enemy one by one, trying to get to Hardner. Belnika starts to begin the ritual, but then she turns around and attacks Harper with her powers. Meanwhile, with the freedom fighters, Nagisa managed to get in contact with the acting captain as she learned that Yuma is going after Hardner. She's not too worried about that because she knows that her papa is a tough guy. Ellie is concentrating on detecting with her magic as she learned that magic wielders can can detect each other. She also thinks it's a good idea for her to be caught so she can get closer to the staff and use it herself. Ruby and Muska ends up finding the mask guy who has been in the bathroom for 2 to 3 volumes and comes out looking like this. You know, I completely forgot about this guy, but then again, I'm sure I'm not the only one. Ruby starts to sense a nice smell coming from a direction. My guess is he's probably sensing Ellie because she's unleashing her magic. Meanwhile, Belnika decided to take on Hardner on her own and save her friend. She blasted him with the Ethereon, but he managed to survive and capture Belnika in a swarm of vines. While Belnika was struggling and planned on releasing the Ethereon, Haru came around and attacked Hardner. Haru wants to know about Hardner's true intentions and learn that Belnika is the other girl with the Ethereon. Hardner explains that she's been through lab experience and that the Ethereon was implanted into her. You know, that reminds me of the scientists trying to recreate Ethereon, and they were subjects in the matter. I think Belnika is one of them, but of course it's just speculation as it never was brought up again in this chapter. Then we learn that Hardner wants to summon Endless so it can make him forget everything. He wants the world to perish along with his pain as he desires drove him into madness. Haru doesn't believe his BS and goes in for an attack as Belnika is willing to help him. The two started their fight, and then after a while Haru told Belnika to destroy the staff with her Ethereon. However, she told him that she couldn't do it as it turns out that she never had the Ethereon to begin with and that her powers were all a lie. Hardner can't believe what he's hearing, which states the fact that he saw Belnika use her magic with the staff. But it turns out that the staff itself had some of the Ethereon stored within it. Hardner is willing to kill Belnika and Haru can't save her because she's too far away. But Plume managed to push her away. Haru takes another swing at Hardner and lets Belnika know that she must move forward. But Haru soon learned that Hardner is a tough opponent as he can heal himself with the Shadow Stone called Regeneration. Not only that he can heal himself, but he can also regenerate buildings around him. Pillars are risen from the ground as he's building up the Archer, a bird that was destroyed many years ago. Now with the Archer up, Hardner is willing to fuse himself with Endless after summoning it by using Ellie. He throws both Haru and Belnika off the cliff, leaving them falling at the end of the volume. And that wraps up this video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to check out my other parts on TikTok, and don't forget to look me on Discord and X. And I'll see you all next time. Nita Rose out.